Well, we're here to talk about Elvis, naturally. But we have a special guest tonight. I mean, she's been sick for a
Oh, I
while,
thought
and she still is, but we brought her in at a real expense. But here she is.
Yes.
Here's Joe.
Here's Mama. Yeah,
Here,
she's been.
here's Mom.
But
Y'all been asking and asking about her and asking for her, and so I had.
Yeah,
You don't know what I had to do, but I finally got her. No, I'm just kidding. I knew, like I said, and appreciate y'all asking. I've been telling her about everybody asking and stuff, and we're just glad that and not that Daddy said, of course she has. You're not, because I know people ask me that you
yeah.
haven't been real
Well,
sick, just kind of, with all this closed down with the COVID going on and
yeah,
everything.
that
So
and the whole almost year has just been not a good year.
no,
Not a good year for me.
everybody agree with that.
she's had a mental problem. No, she's doing fine.
Yeah, it's sitting right here
Here he is.
and over here, and one's and
Yeah,
another
Now,
one.
now we may jump around a little bit during this one, but
Not actually
just,
jump, but just
here we go.
before
But
before you get into it, I'm just gonna kind of do the setting. We're
well,
actually
I'm
up.
just gonna talk. I wasn't gonna get into nothing.
Well, okay, we're actually just sitting up here at in Mom and Dad's den, and we were actually just sitting around, being comfortable, chit chatting, and we thought, well, shoot, let's do a video. So
you say hello and
And goodbye. No, but I think somebody asked a question. If I could just remember what the question was, I might be able to answer it. But
I can
now,
help you on that.
okay, go ahead.
One of them was, why was Elvis's casket so heavy?
Man, I'm gonna tell you. Now that is something that you won't believe. He had this thing he read and saw all about King Tut, and it was how his face and all was lined in gold. So he decided to have his whole casket lined in gold to outdo Tut, and it weighed a ton. Gold's heavy anyhow. Now if you buy that, boy, but it wasn't that really that heavy. But I don't know if people where they got the idea that it was really heavy. Uh, I mean, I only broke down 2 or 3 times carrying it, but other than that,
yeah, I was gonna
no,
say you were
no,
the pallbearer, so
it
it was
wasn't
not
that
that.
heavy. And I was one of the pallbearers naturally. But any other questions that you can think of?
I had one that you and Teresa actually brought to us
Yeah,
when you came up this week
right in the
from
letter.
from Patsy Foshi that why I didn't mean to, but why I had a look on my face like I in one of the videos like I didn't like the Alden family, and I don't know where that came from. Sometimes I get looks on my face when Billy or Danny or Joey or anybody, I roll my eyes and all that. Don't have any hard feelings toward the Alden family
No,
or any of the other people that I was
actually
friends with. I was friends with all the wives and all the guys and that worked for Elvis. And actually, there was only one that I couldn't stand.
shoot the yellow dog. Oh no, that's a joke.
And
Some
and
people will get it, some
and
won't.
yeah, and we tolerated her, but I won't mention any names, but shoot, you know who you are.
But no, actually, believe it or not, I actually met the Alden family in 1959.
They probably don't even realize
Well,
they knew your daddy.
yeah, Mr. Alden and my daddy were, they got to be friends and all, and we actually went over to their house in 1959 and all, and spent some time over there. Of course, Ginger and all of them
We're little,
were little,
little.
but it's funny how things, turn and go.
It is.
That was one that just turned, and I don't
When-
know, something left. I don't.
I'm
No,
not
I'm just-
and
I'm
I'm
just
not
kidding.
rolling my eyes.
But
No,
no,
actually, too, another coincidence. The horse that Elvis had bought me was Tennessee Traveler, Tennessee Walking Horse. And to come to find out years later,
was this last name Alden?
no,
Well, how did we get on that?
because I changed the subject. Alicia Kerwin owned the horse later, and and as we were talking, we found out and realized that she owned him after I
After
sold
you
him.
did,
After I owned him.
Uh, great story. Too, one, during uh, 57, 58 long in there, but I remember, hearing Anita and Elvis sing, together, and that was quite something. Of course, it was never taped, but I wish it had been, and I'm sure Anita was, she remembers a lot of times that she was singing with Elvis. Uh,
Well, I remember hearing that, but I can't remember the name. The, was it? Did
it
she
was
sing
one of
"Crying
Hank
in the
Williams.
Chapel"?
No, it was one of Hank Williams' songs. Right offhand, it escapes me, but they done a really good job. And that
Anita
and a
had a
couple
really
others,
good voice too. She.
Happy Birthday, and
Oh, happy birthday, baby!
mhm, yeah.
Happy. Yeah, I remember
But
that.
a lot of things, over
Yeah.
the years, it's been, comes back at you, and you remember little things. I know she'll remember it. But, anybody that that back then that was around, they'll know what we're talking about.
That was like in 59, 58, 59, 60.
No, it wasn't 59. It was
Not 59.
57 to 58.
Oh, 57.
59, he was in the army.
Hmm.
So he either had to sing loud for me to hear him. But and he wouldn't call me like he did you. He wouldn't call and sing to me.
I know he's saying he did me.
That's how we went to Palm Springs.
Yep. No, he wanted Billy to spend the night out there, so he called and was telling me that he didn't feel very well, and he kept talking to me on the phone, and of course Billy was out there and Charlie, and he said I don't Joe I don't feel very good tonight, and I said, well, what's wrong? Why? He said, I don't know, I don't feel good. He said, I want to do something for you, and I said, okay. So he made Charlie hold the phone up for him, and he sang the whole song of Danny Boy on the phone to me. Of course, we were just out in his backyard in our trailer. But and then as soon as he finished, he said, "Do you mind if Billy spends the night with me tonight?"
How could you say no?
How could you say no? I should have known.
Actually, I went out there. He was covering for me. I was.
Oh, okay.
Too real quick, and both of y'all can.
Actually, I wasn't at home.
That's what I figured.
He was covering for me too.
Because we've had questions come in and ask about some stories of Pa or Uncle Tracy, and I told the one what you seen it in the video a little bit. That's one you always told us about. But if y'all would, there's I know there was two other ones since they asked, and you can tell them real quick. The one that you'd always tell us, and I don't remember who it was.
The guy that jumped
the fence, and then up.
What was a friend of yours?
Friend of yours, and then. Tell them that one real quick. I thought that was always a good one.
Well, Uncle Tracy was, he was, how do you say it?
Well, he had a real high fever when he was little.
Yeah, he had the mind of
about a 9 or 10-year-old
child. But anyway, a friend of mine had come up to see me, and the gates were closed, and Uncle Tracy, couldn't hear him, and he was, hollering, so. He dropped the gate and he come on up to the house. And I had invited him over. Well, Uncle Tracy saw somebody jump the gate and come up to the house, and he followed him, come up there and walked in, and this friend of mine was sitting down, and Uncle Tracy just slapped the food out of him. And I thought, what in the world are you doing? He said, yeah, but he don't jump the gate on Tracy. No. He said, yeah, you remember that. And of course I just cringed, and thank goodness that the guy accepted it really well without, incident.
And Mama, tell the other one that was funny of when you and Priscilla were down in Arca Butler, which is not far from here, and Pa was how Uncle Tracy choked on the turnip greens.
Priscilla and I used to hang out a lot together when they would travel, and we were pretty close. I loved her to death when we were back in those days when we were just both of us and Patsy Lacker and Becky Yancey. And we all hung together and we'd go to lunch together and everything. So Billy's mother and daddy had moved down to Arca Butler in Mississippi. He had decided he wanted to farm. So we went down and Billy's mother had dinner and for us and we were at the table and Billy's daddy started laughing and he started telling us about Tracy getting choked on turnip greens. And we were sitting there and Tracy looked over and he wasn't deaf but he couldn't hear real well.
No.
And he saw Billy's daddy doing like this and he jumped up and slammed his napkin and fork down and he got up and read, yeah, but that's not funny. That's not funny. And we were dying laughing. But it was funny.
I appreciate, yeah, because like I said, people had asked about some stories of him and
Tracy,
No.
yeah.
I
The funniest one, is every time Elvis would come in town and all, he'd go out to the house and when Elvis
that was
come
great. I
down
forgot about
Yeah, get his
Yes,
money.
get what he owed him.
and he said, Elvis would say, Uncle Tracy says, what are you doing? Oh, I'm not doing a whole lot. And he said, I just come to get my money. And of course, Elvis would start laughing because he knew what he was talking about. But he said, how much do I owe you, Uncle Tracy? He said, well, let me see now. I got tobacco and I got this and I got that. He said, I figure you probably owe me about $40. And Elvis would laugh. He said, okay, Uncle Tracy. And actually, he gave him more than $40. But that was funny because every time, that's what he'd say, is I come to get my money. like Elvis owed it to him.
Yeah.
But he was a character. I loved
Now
him.
Tracy was Gladys's brother and Billy's daddy's brother and
Right.
Aunt Lillian and all that side, the Smith side. So his
One last one, Daddy, because you told us ever since we was kids. I love this story. And then we'll move to something. But when Uncle Tracy used your electric razor.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, what had happened?
It was
is
old school.
Yeah, he went up on the technology at the time, which it was funny. It was kind of pitiful too in a way. He had seen me use electric razor and I had taken the screen off of
There's
it.
your famous clock.
From Billy Swan.
Yep.
Billy Swan.
Billy Swan
Swan.
clock.
You know what? That's time. Anyway, go back to the story. But I had taken the screen off of it because I had intentions of changing the blades in it, but I hadn't done it. And he found it and he said, huh? He said, I think I'll try this. I was listening. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to him. And a minute I kept hearing, and I thought, what in the heck? I knew who it was. So I went in there and I said, Uncle Tracy, what's the matter? He said, yeah, but you need to get rid of this. Ain't no good. He said, this thing ain't no good. He said, look, he said, it cut me all over. He said, you throw this thing away. He said, I'm going back to just straight razor. He said, this thing ain't no good.
But he had lathered his face
He
up.
had lathered his
He
face.
lathered his face up and then he was trying to do an electric razor.
Boy, but that was a sight to see. But he was a character, boy. He was just as easy going a person as you'd ever want to meet. But you never want to make him mad now. 'Cause he could be rather upsetting and hostile when he got mad. But that was Uncle Tracy.
Yeah.
A lot of good memories about him.
And what we were talking about a second ago, that noise you heard is a clock that
Billy.
Mom and Daddy had, that Billy Swan. And for those of you who may not know Billy Swan, but most of you do, he is a singer-songwriter, and he did the song "If I Could Help," and Elvis recorded it. But
He's been a
There's
good
several
friend.
of them.
He's
been
been a good friend of ours, a very close friend of ours for I mean
Oh
long,
God! Well, ever since about
ever 50,
63.
about almost 60 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, he had sent him that clock, so that's
yeah,
I just wanted to explain that. But
and a beautiful Indian blanket, which I love so much.
And speaking of that, we had talked about one time Elvis and the little Vega I had
yeah,
he called a tomato can.
yeah.
He wanted to burn it.
He wanted to burn it. Well, he actually succeeded. And here's what's left. I managed to save this.
Thanks to Tony.
No,
Tony Veracci.
a friend of mine had heard the story on the video, and Tony
Veracci.
Farachi, yeah,
Yes.
and I hope I said it right. If not, you can kick my hand in later. But anyway, that's the emblem of a Chevrolet Vega.
He came down with his son Aaron, and
Yeah.
he's a close friend with Joey too.
Yes.
And he came down and he got to join in and hear a lot of our bull crap, a lot of the stuff we do, and he liked that story, so he sent it. That was a good
Yeah, it was.
thing.
And what's on my mind, real
You
quick,
always on my mind.
yeah, you always on the video before last, we had talked about getting a place in Saltillo and doing a 1 or 2 day festival, if you call it, and we're still planning on doing that. We're locking everything in.
We are.
Yes, and we'll have the dates and everything. But one of the things, Mom and them's been getting a lot of feedback, and we have too, on that doesn't maybe you know what I'm saying. You
Well,
might want to
I
explain.
think
That doesn't mean that y'all are not going to
no,
appear in the video
we're not going to be
here
on
and there, or
probably every video, but
right, exactly.
we plan to do videos. We just
one a year.
no, we just didn't
For the
plan
rest
to
of our
go
life.
out, with everything going on and as old as we are. And
Old? Are we old?
We're old.
Just
We used to be young.
We
I
did.
used to be 18.
I used to be young. Look at me now.
But that's what we were talking about. Is going out.
Is that what they mean when they say back in the day?
Back in the day.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Back
hardly
in
remember back in the day.
We were back in the day.
But just wanted to clarify that no, that doesn't mean that they're still not going to be around as far as that. It just
no.
as far as like festivals and public appearances and all that. Like Daddy said, Mama, you can throw in on it. He kind of explained that y'all always love to talk about Elvis,
yeah.
and we always live Elvis, but just you're going to kind of tone it down a little and rest a little bit for.
Yeah, but I guess there's never really a day that goes by that we don't think about something that we did with Elvis or something that reminds us of Elvis, or we compare things to Elvis. We compare everything. Oh, what would he have thought about that car or something like that? But that's just because that was that we grew up like that. Actually, I had met Elvis when I was about 14, and Billy was all of his life, and from that time on, that was our life. We didn't know anything different. That was our family. That was our life. Of course, we had our family, but Billy's family was Elvis's family. So, but we and Danny and Joey and we traveled together. We vacationed together, and actually, the group that worked for him, the guys that worked for him, all their wives and their girlfriends, and we were all a close knit. Their kids, Sherry and Angie and Mart Lacker and the Espositos and Dick and his family, Dick Grove and his family, and the Wests and
pretty much everybody.
Marty and Patsy, and one person I forgot to mention a while ago, and that's Patsy Ruth Presley, Billy's first cousin. Yes. And we were all very close, very, very. Billy and Patsy were always very close. And
y'all know her and her son Jimmy, my cousin. We
and Dina, her daughter.
Dina, we shared a lot of good times with her.
We sure
Jimmy,
did.
In fact, still works. Still works. Has always worked, as far as I know, for Graceland.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of travel a lot, and do a lot of things with Patsy and Gigi, her first husband. We we did a lot of things with them. We were close we were close to a lot of the
It was
group.
like one big family.
Yes.
A lot of times.
Of course, we were
How's
closer
that?
to some than
Can you hear?
others.
The dog was asking the question.
Hey.
What'd you say? Okay.
Even the dogs were close.
Yeah.
We carried our dogs back.
You know,
and forth,
it's
too.
funny because especially when, it's almost, I don't know, maybe in a weird way they sense, you know, I don't know if you'd say sense Elvis or whatever, but whenever we talk about Elvis, you know, they always get
Yeah, they
either
did, like
bargains.
they want to hear.
It's like they know we're doing a video, you know, or we're talking about Elvis, or it's kind of funny, but and no, don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying it, you know, but
No.
I'm just.
But
he loved,
that
you know,
was-
he loved animals
he
too,
did.
but he just didn't.
He had dogs ever
he
since
loved-
I can remember. You know,
Yeah,
he loved dogs,
he loved his horses.
horses, monkeys,
Yeah, for
peacocks. You know,
Yeah.
you name it.
Turkeys.
I think he's had it.
for a
he
short
said it.
time.
He said it.
But with all that took place and all the crazy stuff we done, I think Linda Thompson covered it pretty good
Yeah, she
in
did.
an interview that she did with Sherry Lacker here not long ago.
Yeah.
And she said,
Yes.
you know, it's really lucky that we're all alive.
I just love you, Linda Thompson.
We all do.
Yeah. She said it. I don't know how we are still alive after every crazy thing we did, but we did, and we didn't.
What do you think about it then? Well,
like
what could
we
happen?
lived on the edge,
Yeah,
but it didn't seem like it
it's the
does.
edge of reality. Oh,
It,
that's
well,
right.
it seemed like the natural thing to do. You know, when we did it, it was
Natural?
It was the
Did
natural.
Elvis and natural go
No, ordinary. No,
No, that don't ever go together.
it's like getting on top of the roller coaster
Yeah.
and getting off.
Yeah.
all
You
kind
know,
of crazy
getting off
things.
and letting it come on. Richard Davis and
Me and Richard
Yeah.
and Elvis got
Richard
off.
Davis. And I cannot believe that Richard's triplets graduated this year.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Time just
time flies.
It goes by.
Yep.
And that's
And
kind
I-
of what we mean by, you know, slowing down, you know, because who knows? I don't.
The shadow does.
The shadow does. Yeah, the shadow knows.
Shadow.
The shadow knows. No,
I gotta
we don't
I
mean
gotta-
slowing down. I mean, you know, not
I
like
slowed
slowing
Yeah.
down.
What do you mean?
You know.
We
I was
take-
going to thank some people for some stuff. Amy Gordon, my sweet Amy, who is like family to us, brought me a gift. Is it Sensitive little burner and I love it. And Linda May, and I didn't know that Linda used to go to Whitehaven High School too, but she's Ruth Ann's daughter's mother-in-law made me a beautiful Elvis mask, and I love it. And then Tony sent you that
this
emblem,
thing,
yeah. And Billy Swan,
Always.
it's
sending me stuff.
like Christmas around here
Yeah.
with Billy. And I love the sunglasses.
And all
That's
the
some
others.
cool sunglasses, Billy.
And all the others. who
And
sent us
everything.
things,
Everybody
you
that
know,
has-
we appreciate it highly. And
And when our Camden was born, all the cards and letters and congratulations from all the Elvis fans, and also Willie Small and Stephen McCarty
all of
and
them,
John
you know.
Stone and Cindy. Kim loves
You
all
get your
the,
name in them with all the people we
outfits.
know
We're just
and all
naming
that. Don't
so-
want to leave anybody
Don't
out.
wanna leave
But, you know,
anybody
I
out.
know we will.
And we over different videos, you know,
We'll
the names
catch
that
'em.
come to mind, we try to.
I'm gonna tell both of y'all something right now.
What?
I'm like E.H. Hutton. When I talk, everybody listens. You don't override me.
Well, excuse
Excuse
the hell out of me.
That was rude. You hurt my feelings.
Okay, well, are you done? Can I?
Yeah,
or-
go ahead. You
I was just going to say though, and we do in a lot of videos as it comes to mind.
We just
different things,
butt in.
we try to
Yeah.
thank people and all, but as we always say, each and every one of y'all,
Are special.
right? We love you. We think about you. We love hearing from you, and you know you ask about our videos. You want them, and like I said, I'm gonna keep doing this as long as you're
And
you're wanting them.
there's
So
been
thank you.
so many Elvis fans that are close to us that have passed away. And one of the ones is a friend of Debbie Brown, who Debbie Brown is a good friend of ours too, and Shirley Cannell and Tom Kirby and Alan
There's just
Wade.
so many. I mean,
But Linda passed away this past about 2 or 3 days ago, and
Linda.
she was one of the nicest people. I think from England. I'm not sure.
Yes, I know.
But
I didn't.
nicest woman you would ever want to know, and I just I was
What
shocked.
we're trying to say is when we
I'll make it
lose an
face
Elvis
Tracy.
fan, we lose a lot of
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
We have
Yes.
lost a lot, and
right, yeah, because we gotten to know them over the years,
and they're all like
and they all like kind of like
family.
family. We may not see each other for a year, but when we do, we
Yeah.
have a lot of fun. And with
Yeah.
that, what do we always say?
We
We always
live
live
Elvis.